Hello everyone, welcome to Snapshot 22W11A. Today we got a lot to look at, let's get into it. First off, frogs. They here. They coming. They waddling. They also croak and ribbit, and of course, since they're frogs, they hop around. They jump real high. You get the idea. They're frogs. How awesome was that? So, there's a couple different types of frogs. So this is the orange frog here. The frog type is determined by what biome they're in when they are born. And if I make my way over here, for instance, over in this cold biome, the frog type will be different. As you can see right here, we got some green frogs if we spawn one in over here. So, yeah, depending on where the frogs are born, you can get different types of frogs. Now, these frogs are born from frog spawn, aka frog eggs, which are able to be placed in water. I've already placed some down here. These guys down here. So, yeah, you can see you can place them in the water like that. You can, swim through them pretty much. But over the course of time, over the course of a couple minutes, these things will eventually form tadpoles, which look like this. Look like that. So, yeah, then after the tadpoles are born, they swim around for a while, and eventually they become frogs. And the frogs swim to the land and do their frog thing. So that's how that works. We also have a unique thing with frogs. If they eat slime, they will actually drop a slime ball. If they eat small magma cubes, which let's see if we can get one here. Nope, that's a big one. That's another big one. There we go. There's a small one. Let's see if we can see one of these guys eat this thing. There it is. Yep, right there. And they should, I think, yep, have dropped a... yeah, new light block, an ochre frog light is what they dropped right there. So, ochre frog light is a sort of yellowish light source. If I go ahead and do time set night, you can see these light blocks emit light. And there's three different types. There's the ochre, which we just saw, the verdant frog light, which is sort of a green tint, and then the pearlescent frog light, which is a purple tint. So there's some new, frog lights in the game. Also, I should mention with the tadpoles over here, let's just switch it back to day. With the tadpoles, if we can see them, which we cannot see them, let's see. Oh, here's one. Okay. With these tadpoles, you can actually catch them in a bucket like this to get a bucket of tadpole. So, yeah, pretty cool. Anyways, those are the frogs. Next up, something that people have wanted for a very long time, a new wood type has been added to the game, and no, it's not the azalea tree wood type for some reason. Instead, it is the mangrove log. Check it out. Got a nice deep red hue to it, and yeah, the side texture also is kind of unique. So this is mangrove logs, which will eventually be part of mangrove trees in the mangrove biome coming in a later snapshot. We also, of course, have mangrove wood, which is crafted if you just go ahead and put in a bunch of mangrove logs in the crafting table like this. You get the mangrove wood. You guys know the drill. Then we have the stripped mangrove wood and the stripped mangrove log. So looks like that. So pretty nice. We have mangrove leaves. Unique leaf texture here. Right there. So a little bit darker than other leaves, it seems. We have mangrove slabs and fences. Like this. We got stairs as well, of course. So mangrove stairs. And all these are just sort of reminiscent of the mangrove inside texture, as it is with other wood types. If we go ahead and type in mangrove stuff, we also have mangrove roots. We got mangrove doors. We got mangrove pressure plates. We got mangrove buttons, fences, trapdoors, boats, and signs. So let's just see a few of these. So here's the pressure plates, the buttons. There's the door texture, looking kind of unique with sort of like 3 dots in the middle with the handle on the side. We got the fence gate here, right there. Here's the boat with the frog in it, apparently. There you go. And then here's the trap door. It has a hole in the middle of it, believe it or not, which is kind of cool. And then, of course, the sign, if we get that out right here. There's your sign right there. There's a couple other mangrove blocks that have been added. First of all, we have the mangrove roots. Kind of have a unique sound when placed down. And yeah, if we go ahead and go into survival mode, you can see These can actually be easily harvested with just your hand. So yeah, you don't need a special tool to harvest these, as they sort of easily pop off. And yeah, these are basically going to be at the base of the mangrove trees in the mangrove swamps eventually. We also have muddy mangrove roots, which look like this. So yeah, that's what that looks like. Just like that. Looks like the mangrove roots, but just sort of like full of mud, basically. So believe it or not, you can actually craft the muddy mangrove roots just by simply putting the mangrove roots into the crafting bench with mud. And that gets you muddy mangrove roots, just like that. Now, mud is also a brand new block. Mud is going to be found in the mangrove forest biome, but also, if you have a water bottle like this, and a little bit of dirt like this, you can simply just put down your dirt, right-click it with the water bottle, and bam, turns into mud. So there you go. That is a new block in the game that you can now create, or, like I said, find eventually in the mangrove swamp biome. Then you can take your mud, and if I do this, if I want to make a packed, let's see if I can do packed mud. Mud and wheat gives you packed mud. So let's get out some wheat. So right here. So then we just go into the crafting table, and we can make another new block, packed mud. So here's this block right here. A little bit of a sturdy block, it seems, from the placement sound. But there you go, packed mud. And then this packed mud can actually be created into mud bricks, which are a new building block. So there you go, mud bricks. And this mud bricks, these can be turned into a bunch of different things, including mud brick stairs, mud brick walls, which look like this. And then, of course, your mud brick slabs. So a lot of different building possibilities with the mud bricks. Also, I just want to mention that mud does cause you to sink into it a little bit. As you can see here, my shoes are now in the mud pretty much, but I can still move around relatively quickly. And if I walk out of the mud, my shoes are back, baby. Not even dirty. What do you think about that? Not even dirty. Anyways, yeah, that's mud. And one final thing I wanted to note about the mangrove trees, they have these mangrove propagules. These things will eventually grow on the undersides of these mangrove leaves. They'll have 4 growth stages, the final one of which will be this actual like fully grown propagule. And this is what you'll use to grow new mangrove trees. So you can, of course, replenish the mangrove trees in the mangrove forest biome. Right now it just makes an oak tree, which is a placeholder, but eventually we'll have these propagules that can grow up into mangrove trees. Finally, today we have the first sighting of the deep dark biome in an official snapshot rather than an experimental snapshot. This I've covered pretty much already in another video on the Warden, which I'll link in the end cards, but it basically is a biome which has no other mob spawns. It's made primarily of Sculk Blocks and Sculk Veins, which are sort of like a fleshier version of glow lichen. There's also Sculk Sensors, which activate and respond to vibrations from block placement, or, for instance, the player walking around. So yeah, that's a new interesting redstone component. There's also the Sculk Shriekers and the Sculk Catalyst, which I went over in the Warden video. And yeah, curiously enough, the Warden is actually not present in this version, and the Ancient Cities also are not present, presumably because they're working on those and working to perfect those to get them to a state where they're happy with, so they can release them in a snapshot for players to test out. So that's just an interesting side note, but the Deep Dark biome itself is actually here, and yeah, you can test it out yourself. Anyways, for now, that is it for me. On the screen now are some videos you might like, at least that's what YouTube has decided, so be sure and check those out if you're interested. For now though, thanks so much for watching. This has been Code. Goodbye.